The Chicago Bears schedule is set to be released this upcoming Thursday. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Roschon Johnson being labeled as maybe the steal of the draft by some outlets. And we're going to talk about what Luke Getsy's comments about Justin Fields being light years ahead of where he was last season. We'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. If you want to follow me, you can do so right off the top at CEO Haize. That's CEO Haize. If you want to follow the show, you can do so at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform. But let's go ahead and get into the content for today. So first up, the Chicago Bears schedule is set to be released this upcoming Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to break down, see exactly where the Bulls schedule sits. You know, there's been some conversation back and forth on if the Bears are going to actually play in Germany next season. There's that German tabloid that came out and said, basically confirmed it, but then there was some doubt thrown on that the next day from American outlets. So we'll get to see that schedule. We'll know exactly where and when the Bears are going to be playing. We already know the opponents on they're going to be on our schedule this year, but we'll know the exact dates, the days that we play, things like that. And so that's always an exciting time to really be able to break down that schedule. That is probably also when we'll start talking about our win-loss projections for the Chicago Bears as well this upcoming Sunday on the live stream, which if you guys don't know, we stream live every Sunday, me, C-Dub, and Bobby as a unit. Every Sunday we go live, but we'll also be live this upcoming Thursday for the schedule release. And then we'll be probably giving our predictions on that following Friday. So just a programming update. Make sure you guys are tuned in for that. How excited are you guys to see when the Bears will be playing these teams? Let me know that down below if you're on the YouTube side. But let's get into it. Roschon Johnson has gotten a lot of attention, a lot of projections and things around him as far as like, could he become the running back one? I think C-Dub even had a short on the channel saying that as well. And while Johnson, I think the reason why there's such hype around Roschon Johnson is, the running back room he was in, he would have been the number one if it wasn't for playing with Bijan Robinson. And I think we would have gotten even higher or better look at him, and he probably would have gone in the draft even higher if it wasn't for that. And Bijan Robinson, rightfully so, should have been ahead of Roschon Johnson. You look at Bijan Robinson, and he's probably the best running back prospect we've had in the NFL in a handful of years, if not even longer than that. But when you look at why Johnson was there for the Bears to pick at 115th, it's just that. It's that he played behind an all-time great running back and a running back that projects to be a game changer at the next level. But then when you look at Roschon Johnson's tape, when you look at the fact that he forced 46 missed tackles last season, he had 9 runs of 15 yards or more on 94 carries, and he looks, and absolutely, if you look at his tape, he looks like a starting running back in this league. Now, I do think that the fact that we got him on the second day of the draft, I understand it, but let's be clear here. Roschon Johnson is going to be and start off the season as the third running back on the depth chart. That is why I talked about, getting a little bit creative with him, maybe using him as the fullback in some lineups potentially, especially with his pass blocking ability, the fact that he was a former quarterback and he's going to be able to read defenses probably better than a lot of rookie running backs as well. But the Bears are going to give every opportunity for Roschon Johnson to be on the field. He's going to get some touches. But I do think that there is a chance that he sticks at the third running back on the depth chart for that rookie year. I think it's sometimes, as fans of teams, we try to rush every development. And that's not to say that Roschon Johnson is not eventually going to possibly be the long-term starter at the running back position for the Chicago Bears. I fully do expect that. Now, when that comes, that's the biggest thing up in air. But I think, I've compared to this before, I think his development is going to be similar to that of Khalil Herbert. You got to look at Khalil Herbert came in the league. He flashed some things, but he eventually took over that running back one. At least we don't even know if he's for sure going to be the RB1. It may be Dante Foreman, but he took over that running back one position after some seasons, right? And that's if he starts off this season as the RB1. And so I don't think that the Bears are going to rush his development, going to rush to throw him out there as the RB1. I think also you look at, how creative you can get with having him as your third running back. And like I said, putting him in some lineups as the fullback and having him and Khalil Herbert possibly out there at the same time and what that could really open up for the team. And like I said, this isn't to poo-poo. This isn't to crap on Roschon Johnson at all. Let me be clear in what I'm saying here. Roschon Johnson, I fully believe, barring injuries or anything else, will eventually be the running back one for the Chicago Bears. I've seen you guys in the comments, and a lot of people are like, well, why? What? We're trying to annoy him. Even somebody was like, there's no way he passes Dante Foreman on the depth chart. And I understand that mindset, but I do think that they drafted him for a reason. And when you hear how Ryan Poles talks glowingly about him, the fact that I truly do believe that they did not expect for him to be able to be there for them on day 2. That's how high they had him ranked on their draft board. It starts to paint a more full picture in regards to Roschon Johnson and how they view him. I do think that he has the talent level. I do think that he's on the right team. I do think that he has the right skill set to be the running back one for the Chicago Bears for long term. But we have to stop sometimes trying to rush that development. It may not come this first season. Hell, it may not come in the second season. We may see a natural progression of him going from the running back 3 to the running back 2 to then the running back 1 and eventually taking over that position then at that point in time. I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to be the trajectory. And again, this is not an indictment on Roschon Johnson's talent. He has all the talent in the world. And I love how I can project and how I can see him being used in the running game, the passing game, both as a blocker, as an outlet passer, all those type of things to get creative and maybe even use him to throw the ball some in some specialty lineups and play calls with Luke Getsy if he does get creative. I see all of that for Roschon Johnson. And he has a bright future here as a Chicago Bear. But I don't know if that is going to come as quick as some Bears fans are wanting. And I don't know if it should come that quick either, right? I don't know that you should propel and rush that. Now, if he shows it, let me be clear. I'm just saying with the natural progression of how things usually go in the NFL. But that's not to say if Roschon Johnson comes out and in training camp, in offseason, it's just amazing and wows this coaching staff, there's absolutely a chance that he is not the running back 3 by the start of the season. He may be the running back 2. But I don't know if he's going to get or show enough to be the running back 1 right away, as some, not all, Bears fans are anointing him. Now, again, we got a hell of a player in there. We did a hell of a draft. And I love the talent that we got in Roschon Johnson. I love the fact that he's on this team, and I absolutely think he's our future at the running back position. But I just don't want us to get so wrapped up in the hype and the excitement that we then are disappointed when he maybe doesn't get the touches that we expect or want to see from him in this rookie season, especially if everyone stays relatively healthy. But this is the NFL. Anything is possible, and Roschon Johnson has the talent and the ability to have all eyes on him and to take some snaps from other players and make the Chicago Bears have to use him absolutely. And I guess we'll ultimately see what the story is with Roschon Johnson long-term in a Chicago Bears uniform, but the future is damn bright with having Roschon Johnson on this roster. And I love how things shake up with all the weapons that we're going to have on this offensive side of the ball now. And so, this just things progress. And we don't want to rush the progression, but just because of our hopes. I know a lot of us hope, and we should hope, that a player that we drafted that's as talented eventually gets that position and gets to play. And he will. It's coming. And I love seeing and hearing outlets talk about we got to steal in Roschon Johnson. And when you hear this guy talk, when you hear, even the coaches talk about him and just how he's really stepping up to even a leadership position in rookie minicamp. Now, again, it's rookie minicamp. It's a bunch of rookies, but you need vocal leaders on your team. Vocal, verbal. I mixed the two up. It is what it is. You need that on your team. And Roschon Johnson has the talent. He has the skill, and he has the mentality, more importantly, to be a very big factor for the Chicago Bears going forward into our future. I can't wait to see it happen. All right, let's get off that. Luke Getsy, I talked about Justin Fields, and he says this. The other thing is we evaluated Justin from last year, and I think the growth from where everybody, including yourselves, like how the way you viewed the guy and the way the team viewed the guy to where he was at this time last year to where he is now, I think he's just light years ahead of where he was. I feel like he has a ton more going forward. So we're excited to try to get the best out of him moving forward and keep working toward where we think he can go. Listen, when it comes down to it, Justin Fields' development and him developing as a passer this season is going to be the thing that all eyes are on, right? Especially now that he has DJ Moore. We have Chase Claypool now fully integrated into the offense, hopefully by the start of the season. Darnell Mooney, knock on wood, will be fully healthy and ready to go. The improvements we've made on the offensive line, all eyes, as we've all known, are going to be on how Justin Fields has developed as a passer in this offseason and how he comes into next season already, showing the leadership that he's shown last season, and those type of things, just that dog mentality. But the thing is, and I love that Luke Getsy pointed it out in this interview as well, we saw the yards that Justin Fields got last year running the ball. And a lot of that was because they didn't have the coverage. Things broke down. Not a lot of those were design run plays. A lot of those were Justin Fields getting to work and being amazing and trying to make the most out of a broken play. Now, some of those plays did break because of Justin Fields. Not all of them, but some of them did. And so we need to see that growth. To say that Justin Fields is light years ahead of where he was at the start of last season, keep in mind, Justin Fields only had started a handful of games coming into where he was last season. When this coaching staffs took over, they had a completely raw prospect. Yeah, showed some flashes, and we knew the potential of Justin Fields, but last year was his first year as a full-time starter. The growth should be there, and we need to see that growth translate on the football field into making better decisions, into him getting rid of the ball a little bit faster, being protected a little bit more so he can feel comfortable in that as well. And I think that how we judge the growth of Justin Fields this season it's really on a spectrum, right? Because it comes down to a few different things. How healthy can those weapons stay? Luke Getsy, I've said this before. Luke Getsy has should have as much of eyes on him as far as how he develops as an offensive coordinator and a play caller as well next season now that we have weapons. But Justin Fields' growth within that system, being familiar with that system as well, how much he takes and he's developed in just his understanding of when and where to run as well, having better protection. Everything comes down to how Justin Fields has developed this season. And yeah, we're going to hear a lot of good things about Justin Fields' development, a lot of good things about him being so far above what he was before, and we should hear that. No coach is going to come on here and be like, oh yeah, Justin Fields is the same. He was good. It is what it is. We were a 3-1 team, but yeah, our quarterback's the exact same. Nobody's going to say that. And it's really up to this coaching staff and Justin Fields to show better. We are in a what have you done for me lately league. It just is what it is. Right? And potential can get you so far. Being good and being an amazing athlete can get you so far. But the things that we need to start seeing Justin Fields develop in, yes, is a lot of the mental things of the game. There is still some things in there in decision-making, things like that. But that's where we know that Justin Fields is a physical specimen. We know what he can do, how electrifying of an athlete he is. We know that. But the biggest growth, at least for me, in the way that I will judge Justin Fields' growth this season, is how he grows as that decision maker, how he grows as a passer, how he grows in just the way that he really runs an offense, picking the better times to run, right? Running, and again, Luke Getsy as well. The Bears offense, we as the first time, at least in my life, 36 years on this planet, one of the first times in my life, I'm excited about a Chicago Bears offense. There's been other times. The Jay Cutler errors, I was excited about what that offense could be. But this is the first time that we hopefully have a system, a coach, and the talent and weapons, the depth there as well, that we can actually be an offense that is worth a damn in the NFL. I've talked about it all offseason. At some point, I would love to see the Bears be top 10 in offense and top 10 in defense. And that really all comes down, in a lot of ways, to our quarterback, our franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. And how he develops those light years ahead that he is, we need to see that actually in the season and come to fruition. We need to see the results of that on the football field. Everything, yes, this is a team game. This is a team sport. It's not all on Justin Fields. But best believe a lot of the blame, whether rightfully or not, is going to be on how Justin Fields looks as a quarterback this season. That this needs to be the year that we can really evaluate Fields, his limitations, his room for growth, his ability as a passer at the NFL level. We've seen it at the collegiate level. We know what he can be when he has weapons. We know that he is not this running back that some lazy analysts try to label Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a quarterback. Justin Fields can sling the football. He can throw the ball. He can do that. We know that he has the capability inside of him to do that. It's up to the growth and the coaching staff to put him in the proper areas to where we're actually seeing that this upcoming season. That's my time. You guys can let me know what you think on it down below. And how will you? I want to hear from you guys. If you're in the comment section on the YouTube side, I want to hear from you guys today. How will you guys be judging the growth of Justin Fields and the Bears offense overall this season? What parameters are you looking for? What are you looking for from this team? Also, back to the Roschon Johnson topic. Do you think Roschon Johnson can become the running back one this season? I don't necessarily see it this season, But if you think he can, make sure you guys label that down below as well. That is it for me for today. Make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can also send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for our mailbag episodes, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.